Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day, a hurricane hump day edition of Morning Scone, presented by BROC, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. You need an orthopedic, go to BROC. Need a roof, especially now with Francine approaching. You give us a shout at Parish Construction and Roofing. parishbuilt.com. Of course, Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, and Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. As we often say, Unique Physique, semaglutide, tirzepatide, the once-a-week injections for weight loss, the weight loss shots that everybody hears about. Everybody knows someone who's doing it, has done it, has had success with it. If you're interested, you want to learn more, remember the whole thing can be done over telemed. You don't even have to go in the office, and they can ship your medicine anywhere in the country. So give them a shout over at Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com. Okay, y'all. Good morning. Francine is on her way. Whoopity-doo. Storm coverage. Storm coverage just disrupts everything. Storms disrupt everything. Offices close. Schools are out. Just all the stuff that goes along with a anyway, all the stuff that goes along with the storm. I was trying to pin up the link. All the stuff that goes along with the storm, but something that when you live here you're used to. So LSU and the Saints continue their prep. The Saints did move their practice up today. They moved their practice to the morning. I believe it's going to be. Hang on. Saints moved up to 11:25 a.m. So Saints will be practicing at 11:25 this morning. So it just moves up their prep from the afternoon. Try to get the practice in, get everybody home and safe. As the storm comes, you ride it out, and then obviously we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Same for LSU. There's a practice today. They'll batten down the hatches this evening, and hopefully all's well, and they can practice on Thursday. Everything can get back to normal, and get out of here on Friday and get to Columbia. So LSU in South Carolina on Saturday. Saints had Cowboys on Sunday. So both teams on the road, but both choosing to stay in town for the storm. So let me know what else y'all got. A couple other things. LSU basketball picked up a commitment. First commit for the class of 2025. Matthew Gilhool. I'm not sure if I'm saying it properly. 6'10", lefty power forward from Pennsylvania. Number one player in the state of Pennsylvania. Had a big, long offer list. LSU, Alabama, Mississippi State, Iowa. And picked the Tigers. I think Florida might have been on there. Picked the Tigers. So nice get there for Matt McMahon to start the class of 2025. Top 100 overall play. I think he's number 71 in the country. 14th best power forward. Number one player in Pennsylvania. So good start for 2025. Talked about Jakeem Stewart. He's staying in New Orleans. He's going to Edna Carr, but he'll be ineligible this season. So Jakeem Stewart will have only played 1 year, only his sophomore year of high school football. He was ineligible as a freshman. He was ineligible as a freshman when he transferred to Aug, or when he enrolled at Aug. He played his sophomore year last year, and now leaving Aug and going to Carr, he's ineligible this year. So that'll be really interesting, man. Only 1 year of hey babe. How's the hurricane? Coming. I mean, yeah. It's looking like Cat 2. What? Can you start his backpack? Can you start his backpack? No, you're not. I'm going to be home. I'm coming home. Huh? He just got up and just started this. He just woke up. Anyway, okay. All right, y'all. So Jakeem Stewart, the good news there is that he's staying in Louisiana. That's the fantastic news. Going to Carr, which has been a feeder school for LSU. I mean, you've got Teron Francis already committed for 2025. You've got Aiden Hall and Richard Anderson from Carr committed for 2026. I mean, that's a huge, huge benefit for LSU that he's not leaving and going to IMG or something like that. So, all right, we'll say some good morning, y'all. Smash the like button if you're on YouTube. like the page or subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we go live. Like today, weird day, obviously with the storm and everything, so everybody's home. So we got a little later start today. So if you hit the bell on YouTube, then you're notified whenever we go live. We'll start a little bit later. Okay, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Appreciate that. Avid Inspection Specialist. What's good, Christian? Good to see you, man. Hope you and the family stay safe. Same to you, man. Very excited to have Avid Inspection Specialist as one of our new sponsors on Scone and Tea. So you all can thank Avid for the return of Scone and Tea, which was supposed to be tomorrow, but considering storm coming and all that stuff, we're going to start next Thursday. So no Scone and Tea tomorrow. We'll start next Thursday, but we'll be at curbside on Government at 7 p.m. starting next Thursday. So we hope to see all of y'all there. Hey, Mark, good morning. Matt, be safe. A lot of roof work coming. I mean, look, I got the Paris stuff on. Like literally, just as we've been sitting here, my phone is pinged. Our Paris text chat is going. Okay. Actually, that was Richard saying push the website. You fill out the form. Okay. So I have the parish link pinned. I don't know why it's not letting me pin it on Facebook. It's pinned on YouTube. My very, very, very strong recommendation. There it is. There we go. So my very strong recommendation, y'all, if you or someone you know is in the path of the storm, I would highly, 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 highly recommend going to our form, going to the website at Parish, fill out the form. And the reason is, and let's hope it skirts us and nobody has any damage and it's no biggie whatsoever. But what we're going to do is, and please help us spread the word on this, like what we're going to do is we will just go basically in order of receipt of request. So if you need tarping services or whatever, we'll go right down the list. Now, those people who are members of our maintenance program, they get priority. So we'll start with our maintenance program members and then go right down the list of whoever contacted us, and we'll just start calling right down the list. Do you need a tarp? Do you need a tarp? Do you need a tarp? Do you need services? Whatever the case may be. So, yes, to Mark's point, a lot of roof work coming. Yes, but we are staffed, crews are ready. What day was that? Monday? Monday was up at the office. I mean, the entire, like everybody, inspectors, crews, commercial managers, everybody was all in that meeting getting our plan together. So not our first rodeo. We'll be ready. Brian Wynn, good morning, Matt. Remember the tragic events of this day 23 years ago, praying for the safety of all on our stay with the approaching storm. And honestly, with the storm, I hate to say that I forgot about 9/11. I didn't forget, obviously, but I was thinking about it yesterday. But then I sit here on my audio board that sits right here. It has the time and the date. And literally, as I was starting and potted my mic up, I saw September 11th. It kind of hit me again. So, what a crazy day that was, man. A tragic day, obviously, but I think I've told you all that before. My parents were in New York City. They were staying in Times Square. My dad was there for an OAAA conference. My dad was the attorney for Lamar Billboards for a long time, and it's Outdoor Advertising Association of America was having their conference. They were at the Marriott in Times Square, and they were supposed to be going to the World Trade Center that day. Like there was a group from their group that was going that Tuesday to the Trade Center. I mean, like, it's wild to think about. It's really wild to think about. Mark, did you get enough water and food? Power may go out. Well, thankfully, Mark, we're very fortunate, man. I mean, we, after Ida, installed a Generac home standby generator. So we're going to be fine. If power goes out, our generator will kick on and we'll be good. So yeah, we're good, man. Hope the same for everybody else. Hey, Abner Neal, good morning. Yeah, stay safe to you as well, you and your family, man. Jeff, what up, my dude? Good morning, man. Caleb, morning. Saints fan from Texas. Stay safe with the weather. Hopefully the Saints can be competitive versus Dallas with the new offensive scheme. You know what, man, Caleb? I'm certainly curious to see the increase in the level of competition, right? You step up in competition, how this is going to look. I mean, Carolina uh this is Ross Jackson just texted me. This is what happens when I start later. um okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to be I'm sorry. It's just obviously a busy morning, storm, just everything going on. So all right. Charlie Cavell, good morning. Hey, Spurge, good morning. Yep, big Texas prayers for all in the path of the storm. Thank you, man. Especially those down around Morgan City, where it looks like it's going to come ashore. Casey, good morning. Mark, will John Emery come back for one more year? Looks like he's done, Mark. Brian Kelly gave an interview on the Paul Feinbaum show on Monday, and effectively said John Emery is starting to think about life after football. So it sounds like he's going to be done. So Brian Penn, good morning from Dayton, Ohio. All right, Brian, be safe on the road today, man. Hey, Larry, good morning. Strong side, good morning. Definitely everybody stay safe. Charlie, thank you, man. Mark, Baton Rouge on the west side of the storm. Y'all be okay. East side, that's bad. The east side is definitely worse. Mark, I mean, you never want to be on any side of the path of a hurricane, but yes, I understand what you mean. Okay, great. David, honoring America and Americans. Never forget 9/11. Always remember the Benghazi Four, Ambassador Stevens, Glenn Doherty, Sean Smith, Tyrone Woods, and of course, go Tigers. Yes, sir. Yeah, it was interesting, man. You know, I've been to New York like 3 times since December, and when I was there, um, when I think that was maybe April, when I went in April, I think it was April. They were doing like renovation or restoration or cleaning of the 9/11 memorial. If you've never been to NYC, essentially the giant, I mean, the holes in the ground where the tower stood, they turned those into giant waterfalls. And it's the names of all of the the victims are encircle the entire thing. It's a beautiful memorial, but anyway, it was a little surreal because it was empty. The waterfalls weren't. The water wasn't on. So it was just these giant gaping holes in the ground. But it's always amazing context when you go to New York and you see that and you realize just how big in scope and scale and structure those buildings were that fell. But yeah, man. So anyway, all that to say, it reminded me, as you were saying, because I know forever, like they read the names of the victims at the 9/11 memorial on 9/11 at the time of the attacks. So I'm wondering if the 9/11 memorial is back and functional again. Hey, Tiger Diver, good morning. Trivia Carter, good morning. Hunter Broadhead, good morning. Sports Geek 91, UCLA fan here. Okay, started watching after the 2021 game when my daughter got hooked on the Hudco jingle. Hope y'all stay safe. Your friend from LA. I guess it's the other LA, the capital LA. Thank you, man. Appreciate that very much. Well, tell your daughter that we're no longer we split, so no longer affiliated with Hudco. We are now Parish, Construction and Roofing, and you can let her know that we have a Parish jingle. So I hope she likes the Parish jingle.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
Okay. And it'll be interesting, though. Hopefully your daughter and you don't have anything to cheer about here a week from Saturday when the Bruins make the return trip. And their sissy blue shirts, like this color blue almost. B. Lorky, just watched a video of Penning bowling Derek Brown and the two other Panther defensive players. Hope to see that more often. You know, the thing about Penning that's undeniable is his straight line road grading run blocking ability. Like that's never been an issue. Like he's a physical point of attack blocker. That's his strength. What he hasn't been able to do is be a good pass blocker. So that's why the conversation was, do you move him to guard? Because you could put him in a phone booth with a player on either side of him and let him be a good point of attack run blocker and have help on either side and pass protection. So, but yes, I'm with you. It was great to see all of them play well. Chance, do you know Stewart's age or birthday? How old might he be if he reclassifies? May 6th. Looks like his birthday is May 6th. I don't know what year. So he would have just turned probably 16. So he'd be a 17-year-old freshman next year, most likely. Patrick Berglass, good morning, Matt from Birmingham. Prayers for y'all down the bayou. Family in NOLA, okay. Pumped about Saints Cowboys. Hope it's a nationally televised game. It's noon. It's not a flex game, is it? It's noon on Fox. It's not flexed. And America's Game of the Week is the later game. So no, it's not going to be a national deal. Let's see. Irfan Sayad Gamog, thank you, man. Eric Wilderotter. Morning, Matt. I'm sure Stewart's NIL package isn't cheap. Does having to pay that 1 year earlier than we plan have any downstream impacts? So that's a good question, Eric. And I actually did have a conversation about that Saturday after he announced on Friday he was leaving AUG, because if he does reclassify, and look, LSU's well aware of this, right? So they've been able to. Here's what I can very confidently say: LSU's very aware that it's going to cost NIL to get Jakeem Stewart. Also, remember, it's not just about the trickle down. Remember what 2025 is already costing you. You've got Bryce Underwood. You've got Harlem Berry. You've got DJ Pickett. You've already got 3 5-stars who are the number one player in the country at their position. You made a very competitive offer to Jonah Williams, number one safety, dual sport guy that picked Texas. And if Stewart reclassifies from 26 to 25, that's more money on the books for 2025. But again, LSU's well aware of that. And what I can tell you is that, like, from the top on down, and when I say the top, I mean the top on down, they all want Jakeem Stewart and are making the necessary push to make sure that they are as competitive as they need to be for Jakeem Stewart. If LSU does not get Jakeem Stewart, I don't think it's going to be strictly a money thing. But I think they're going to get Jakeem Stewart. Hey, Jerry G, good morning. Make defense great again. Morning, Matt. Could the aggressive pass rush by SC's defensive end help LSU in the run game? Maybe. So we talked about it. If you haven't been paying attention, South Carolina, I went into detail on this on today's Locked on LSU if you want to go listen or watch after this. So South Carolina is number 1 right now in the country with 10 sacks through 2 games. Similarly, LSU is number 1 in the country with 0 sacks allowed through 2 games. So it's strength on strength there. South Carolina's defensive front is very good. And I think that is a good on good matchup there. But that's about the only spot on the field where I would tell you I think South Carolina is good, because I don't think they're very good. And I understand what you're saying. Could LSU use the aggressiveness of a pass rush in the running game? Maybe. I think more likely what you see is if you use the aggressiveness of a pass rush, the way you beat that is with the screen game. So I'm not telling you they're going to dink and dunk and screen to death, but I think they're going to use the screen game pretty effectively on Saturday. Jerry G, everybody okay? Yeah, man, storm hasn't come yet, man, but we're all kind of preparing. So hope everybody's doing well. Brian Wynn, thoughts on the lawsuit filed by the former Michigan football players for NIL back pay? Yeah, it's interesting. It wasn't just against if you that you said former lawsuit. So they even filed against like the Big Ten Network and different stuff like that. It's like Braylon Edwards, former Michigan receiver, and some other players. Yeah, it'll be interesting. With the lawsuit that was just settled, I wonder if that settlement precludes other lawsuits. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. I have no idea. So I wonder, like how many more players could find different angles to file lawsuits against different entities. I don't know. What I do know is every time players file lawsuits, they seem to win. Thomas, good morning. Chance of rain, never, except today. You guys stay safe. Morning from Northern Alabama. All right, Thomas, good to see you, man. Thanks for being there, man. Michael, good morning. Chance, ask Matt. I know you don't do super chats on your personal show. God bless you for that. Do you have a feature on, but you have that feature on whiskey and wine? Is that for crowd control? No, it's not. Chance, I don't own the 104.5 ESPN channel. So, I mean, Guarantee does. And so obviously we monetize, the 104.5 ESPN YouTube and all of our different platforms. So that's just not my decision to make. So, and quite honestly, I don't love that we only read the super chats. I don't love that at all. For the very relatively small amount of money you get from super chats, I don't love that we don't read other people's comments. So quite honestly, that's something that I want to start doing is whenever we get to the Q&A part of the show on Whiskey and Wine, we're not just reading super chats. Like, I don't think because someone does $1 super chat, they should have their comment featured over someone else who has maybe something, a salient point, something worth talking about. So, but we appreciate everybody for being there. Kelly Gross, good morning. Rusty Abear, good morning. Juan, good morning. Brad, good morning. Love the Tim Brando segment. His answers can go on forever. And he knows it too. It's hilarious. Did you even hear Tim say, like, when he was asking questions, they used to on the interview yesterday, said when he was a reporter at WIBR, I think he said it was when Jerry Stovall was the coach. They used to put time limits on his questions because his questions would go on forever. No, Timmy B can talk, and he knows it too. He talks about it all the time. It's funny. But I love Tim. I mean, his insights are great. His experience is awesome. He's been great to me. I've talked about that forever. Like, Tim Brando has been awesome to me. As a friend, as a mentor, as someone to give advice. And we kind of met. We had met before, but really when we first started talking, came amid a little bit of conflicting circumstances. It was back in 2015 when LSU canceled the McNeese game. You remember the Lightning came and they ended up canceling the game, and Tim was very critical of that decision, and I kind of understood it, and he sort of, we had never really spoken before, and so I think we'd end up going back and forth a little bit on Twitter, and he kind of called me for lack of a better phrase, like a shill or something like that, for LSU. And he didn't know me any better. And I think he was just assuming that I was just, the local homer media defending the school, which wasn't the case. I mean, I think y'all know that ain't the case. And he knows it too. So we ended up talking and very sensibly. And I think we came to a very strong mutual respect and admiration. And it was very kind and gracious of him. He came on my show at the time. We talked about it on air. But anyway, I mean, that's been almost 10 years now. And he's been great. Yeah, he's been great to me. So, I'm very, very appreciative to Tim. One of the real good guys. And I say this often, that in media, I believe, this is from my experience, I'm not saying this is a hard and fast rule, this is from my experience, that there are two types of people. There are people who view everybody as competition and they'll step on your face to get wherever they want to go. And there's people who realize that they had help getting wherever they are professionally, and they'll do anything they can to pay it forward. And Tim is one of those guys. I like to think I'm one of those guys as well. So I'll always help people. I'll always take calls. I'll go on people's shows when I can. I'll give advice when I can. So but Tim's great. Jerry G said, shout out to Ross Jackson. Absolutely. Shout out to Ross Jackson. Ross has been awesome, man. Great hire over at LouisianaSports.net. He's led all of our Saints coverage. One of the things I keep stressing about .net is it's totally free. And we're trying to do the content that you typically find behind a paywall. Feature work. Yes, there's going to be newsers and things like that, breaking news, but there's also going to be feature work and a lot of interesting stuff. And we're just going to give that content away. And our hope, our ambition is that we drive a strong enough audience behind it, the same way we did 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and then our video content that great businesses want to sponsor. We're not going to assault you with pop-up ads. We don't even have Google AdWords turned on. Like like when you go to some websites and it's just like the Google ads and it's just pop-ups all over the web. Like we don't even have that turned on the website. So I'm not saying we won't at some point in some fashion turn on those programmatic ads, but it's just, we want it to be a very clean, enjoyable experience for people that's free. And you create that experience with people, and they're going to be willing to support your people. Like you go to LouisianaSports.net right now, you'll see on the sidebar our the sponsors that we have already involved. Bayou Transformers, who, by the way, shout out Bayou Transformers. They're also going to be one of our sponsors on Scone and Tea. Parish Engineering, our guy Michael Terry of FU Michael Terry fame from Whiskey and Wine back in 2019 is on board. The All-Star Automotive Group has jumped aboard with us. Parish Construction and Roofing. So, and growing. So, we appreciate everybody greatly. So, and I know I mentioned it before, but if you're a business owner or know someone who is, our introductory packages for LouisianaSports.net are like dirt cheap. I mean, I'll tell you the price. You can get on board for as little as $300 a month. I mean, it's just about generating revenue, improving concept, and trying to develop relationships with people. So if you're a business owner or know someone who might be interested, LouisianaSports.net, let me know. I'm happy to send. There's bigger packages as well where you can sponsor, like, it's pages, there's takeovers, banner ads, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, all right, please smash the like button if you would, subscribe to the channel. Brian, you know anything about the new commitment from Pennsylvania? You talked about that. Yeah, Matt McMahon's first commit for the class of 2025. Matt Gilhool, he was on campus last weekend for the football game. Always smart when you get to recruit some other sports on campus for football weekends. But yeah, 6'10" power forward, number 1 player in Pennsylvania, number 14 power forward in the country, number 71 overall player in the composite as a lefty. So really good player, had a long offer list and first commit for the class. Hey, Jerry, good morning, man. Be safe. Same to you, Jerry. Hope you and your family are doing great, man. We'll talk soon, all right? John Lee, good morning from Edmonton. All right. Mike, good morning from Jersey. Prayers for Louisiana moved after Ida. If the Saints go 2-3 to start the season, that definitely saves Allen from being fired midseason. Do they double down at the trade deadline? Maybe. And I think 2-3 in the first 5 is doable, Mike. I mean, I thought they were going to beat Carolina, and I think they can beat Atlanta. And look, I mean, I thought that before. Hannah Griff's calling me. Hang on one second. Hannah Griff's calling me. I got to answer this. All right. So Live at Lunch is moving in studio today. This is what happens when you're the program director and a storm comes and you have to adjust everything. All right. So Live at Lunch in studio. I gotta let people know this. Live at Lunch. Jordan. Third floor. Sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I know this is so rude. I apologize, but I have to take care of this real quick. Yeah. Okay. Oh, let me look. FYI, comma Live at Lunch is moving into the third floor studio today for their show. Period. I'm sorry, y'all. I know this is rude and y'all don't care. This is just the stuff I got to take care of. Okay. Okay. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the page, share the post, all that stuff. We appreciate it. Oh, good. Oh, I'm way behind on comments. My goodness. Rusty was back in New York a couple weekends. The memorials were functioning with the waterfall. That's great to know. Great. Let's see. Do you have a breaking news sound bite? You know what I should have? Let's see. Hang on. I could add one. Let's see. Cinematic. No, that's not it. That's how again. I could find one. I could add it. Well, we can add stuff here. What could I add? Oh man. I could find like a little breaking news sound or something. I put it in there. That'd be interesting. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Hi, do you want to come say hi, Dad Show? Hello. Hey. This runs away. Manny, good morning. Ready for Francine, hoping for the best. Yeah, man. Let's see. Where are we? Here we go. Handy calling into the show to see if Scone screens his calls. I don't think that was it, Fletch. He has no idea I'm doing more than Scone right now. I don't even know if Handy has Facebook or YouTube. Chance, ever listen to T-Bob and Aaron Murray snaps? I've seen clips of it. They record it, around lunchtime, and that's usually when I'm getting ready for AFR. And quite honestly, Chance, Gordy. Quite honestly, Chance, this is not a rude thing, and I tell you this often, like I really don't listen to other shows and stuff. It's not that people don't do a good job. It's just that when you spend all day producing content and like, when am I going to listen to other people's stuff? That's the challenge, really. Hey, Johnette, good morning. I'm a Paris Roofing cap on today at the station, waiting on Miss Francine. So y'all who live in Acadiana, who listen to us on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, you all owe Johnette a gigantic thank you, because Johnette is the general manager over at Delta Media, who I worked with at Guarantee before her career travels took her to Indianapolis, then to Maryland, then back to Lafayette. And it was her decision to put After Further Review on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. And they are amazing friends and a great affiliate and great partners of ours. And as you can tell by the fact that she's telling me she's wearing her Parish hat today, which I love that. Yeah, if y'all live in Lafayette, Lake Charles area, if you listen on ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles, y'all owe Johnette a giant thank you, because she's the one who made the decision to put AFR on. So please support our great partners in Southwest Louisiana also. Gordy. You want to come say hi to Dad show? Okay. Hi. G, it's for Gordy. Come say hi to Dad show. You got your chew rings? Huh? Okay.
It is Gordy.
It is Gordy. Okay. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, Dad show.
Oh, well, that was so nice. What are you doing today? Huh? What are you going to do today? You going to play?
Yes.
With Mommy and Daddy?
Then.
Yep. I love you.
What is it?
Is the hurricane coming?
Yes.
Hey. What color are your jammies?
Green camo.
Green camo. Okay, he's done. I'm like holding on to him. He's trying to get away. Good. He's watching videos of Gordy Rush on the iPad.
Gordy.
It is Gordy. Yeah, put some chapstick on your lips. Your lips are all chapped. Okay. Now he's gone. Devin, good morning. Yeah, man. Tigers need to win this weekend for sure. Jeff, what's good? Quentin Breakbill, Thad, Whiskey and Wine should be featured on national television. Best show around. Thank you, Thad. I appreciate it, man. We have a good time. It's always more fun after a win. It's usually more interesting after a loss. Rob, times have changed back in the you want to stay an extra year in high school to be older in sports now they want to get out early. How about that? I mean, some still do, Rob. I mean, like, some still, delay and get held back and stuff. I mean, that's I would say is more common. But this is an interesting decision by Jakeem Stewart. Like I thought last year with Colin Hurley, it was interesting as well. I could more understand it in other sports. Like sometimes at 17 in basketball, you're already the best player, and you're ready. You say the same times in baseball too. Gordy, like William Schmidt at Catholic could be an ace in college right now or go pitch in the pros. Gordy, okay. Gordy, got it. Thank you, Gordy. He has an obsession with watching Gordy videos on the iPad now. I don't know why. Kirk Taylor, Guy Brooks, good morning. Club Ruckus, good morning. Lane Collier, would you pick over or under? Are you talking about for LSU or for the Saints game? I don't know that I have a great feeling on the total on the LSU game. I mean, that was 8.5. It's come down to 7. Listen, y'all know I don't bet LSU games. I did bet the under in the LSU USC game because that was just too obvious of a play. But I think there is tremendous value with LSU, if especially that line dips below 7, to take LSU and lay if it gets below 7 to lay that number. Y'all, I've just watched South Carolina play. That is not a good football team. I think this is an overreaction from people who watch Nichols hang with LSU for 3 quarters or for 2 quarters into the third. I think it's just a gross overreaction. People saw the injury to Jacoby and Guillory. You saw the final score of that South Carolina game, but I'm telling y'all, South Carolina, I watched that game. It was 10-6 at half, and South Carolina had 105 yards of offense. The game against Old Dominion ended up 23-19. Let's see. Where is it? Gordy Linden Rush III. 10-6 at half. I'm sorry. I said 105. They had 101 total yards. Forgive me. 4 first downs, 55 passing yards, 46 rushing yards. South Carolina had it half against Kentucky. The week before, this was, hang on, I have it here. I'm looking for it. I know it's in my text line. Hang on. Oh, wait, it was Saturday. There was a point Saturday where Lenora Sellers was 1 of 5 for -3 yards in the opener against Old Dominion. Gordy. I thought I had more. Anyway, point is, Lenore Sellers may end up being a good player during his career. I'm not saying he won't ever be a good player. What I'm telling you is he's not a good player now, and their offense is void of weapons. Like, I know LSU's defense isn't great, but they are plenty good enough. If the defense that we saw against Lincoln Riley's USC offense shows up on Saturday, they're plenty good enough to limit South Carolina, and LSU will score against that team. LSU will score against everybody. Mike Hardy, y'all, since he allocated NIL for Jonah Williams, I think that budget might have to be used for Stewart. He's a must get. They're well aware. Gordy. Okay. Damon, good morning. Taylor, good morning. Matt just joining. Looks like rain may be a problem in Columbia. Who has the advantage of the rainy washout game? So I don't know. Let me check it. I checked yesterday, and the weather in Columbia was like, at game time, like a 20% chance of rain. Let's see. Saturday, they're showing 55% chance of rain. It's like 20% around kickoff. It's like 25% around 1 a.m. It dips around 6 a.m., then goes back up and stays at about 20% all day. So, I mean, it may rain. It just doesn't look like it's going to be bad. We'll see how. Well, hi. Huh? What are you doing?
God.
I love you. I love you so much.
Good.
Yes, that's Gordy. Very good. I have to go on Sirius XM in 45 minutes. Gordy. You can't keep walking in here every 2 seconds when I'm doing an interview, though. Saying Gordy. That could end up being a problem. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post, all that good stuff. Where am I? Remember, Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuild.com. I got Parish pinned on both YouTube and Facebook, and the link is also We're tagged on Facebook. The link's in the description on YouTube. If the thing we're really encouraging you to do is if you are going to be in Francine's path, please go to the website now, fill out the form on the homepage, and that effectively gets you in line for services, because we will just start going right down the list. We'll start with our maintenance club members. If you're part of our maintenance club, you get priority service. After that, we'll go right down the list in order that we received inquiries. So my suggestion to you now is, if you might need tarping, if you think you might it's better to just go onto the website now, fill out the form, and then when the storm comes and passes and it's safe for our crews to get out, we'll just go right down the list. Do you need a tarp? Do you need a tarp? Do you need services? Whatever it may be. And remember, we're Parish Construction and Roofing. So not only can we repair or replace your roof, full service contractor, licensed contractor. So if you have any damage to the exterior or interior of your home, you can deal with one contractor. So if you end up having water damage, if you need sheetrock or decking or any of that stuff, we can do all that as well. So it's Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to parishbuilt.com. South Carolina game feels like Mizzou last year. Kerry, I don't know, man. Like, Brady Cook's good quarterback, and you had Luther Burden on that team, and that Missouri offense could go. This Carolina offense can't go, man. It just, the feeling of it, sort of, but also that game against Missouri a year ago was the week after the Ole Miss debacle where you scored 49 and lost. So vibes were a little different. And again, that offense could score. This South Carolina offense, I don't think can score. Joseph, if you had to pick a team to cheer for, would it be the Dirty Birds or the Cowboys? Probably Dallas. I don't hate the Cowboys the way people hate the Cowboys. I hate Atlanta. Brian, good morning. I read the UCLA game as a noon start. Is that because of TV? It's not a noon start. It's a midday. It's either going to be 2:30 or 3:15. So it's a day start, but it'll be 2:30 or 3:15, depending on. We'll find out exactly, but it's going to be one of those two. Thomas almost got the real star of the show on air. Brian, is Josh Williams still the star at running back? Are we going to attempt to establish her on Saturday? Do you see Nuss throwing 30 times? I think Nuss throws it 30 times either way. But again, Brian, it's what Brian Kelly has said, man. They're not going to run just to prove they can. He said they had 35 run plays called against Nichols. They ended up throwing it 21 times because if they're stacking the box and you have a run play call, then you check out of the run and you throw it. I mean, all those screens to Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas, he said those passes out in the flat, those are run play calls, but you have a pass option attached to it, so you're not just running against a brick wall. And I love that. Grillmaster, prayers to Louisiana from Florida. Thank you so much, man. Antron, when the boys leave for South Carolina, Francine, they're not changing anything, man. They're practicing today. They're going to sort of batten down the hatches. Plan is, depending on what happens, they'll have their practice on Thursday and travel out on Friday. Blower. He watches backpack blowers on the iPad as well. Still a possibility Jakeem Stewart reclassifies. Yes. I think that's the plan, is that he's going to reclassify to 2025. Jeff, want to personally recommend Parish. Thank you, my dude. Projects, maintenance, roofing, they are number one on my speed dial. We appreciate it. Just so you know, Jeff has been awesome. Not only is Jeff a friend, but Jeff does facility maintenance, and he is we've worked with Jeff on a lot of projects, a lot of different things. So thank you, Jeff. I appreciate very, very much the endorsement there. I love the idea of Juwan Johnson at running back, comfortable with the ball in his hands. Absolutely. Johnette's been Team Drew OG from day one, man. We appreciate you, friend. Thad, love you. Include him on the show. Great dad. Hey, you know what, man? Is Drew happy to be out today? No. Drew loves to go to school, man. And he's so routine oriented. Like, Drew doesn't understand that there's a hurricane. Like, he doesn't know what that means. So he just knows that it's Wednesday, and on Wednesday he's supposed to go to school, and he didn't go to school today. So he doesn't understand why. He can roll with a little bit, but Drew loves to go. He loves his routine, and he loves to go to school. Like, he loves Miss Cindy and Miss Claudette, and he loves his classmates, and he loves to go there. So, like, when he doesn't go, he's like, and what? He wants to be at school. So we are hoping that the storm passes, there's no real damage, and power is restored if we lose it at all, and he's back at school on Friday. Would love to see that. All right. Josh Ennis show, episode 1 of NIL Doc did you dirty. Did it really? What did it do? I didn't see it. How did they do me dirty? Mark Allen, you need to be in the Shreveport area. Mark, working on that for AFR and would love for that to happen. Working on it. Might have a few lines in the water. Is AFR canceled? No. AFR live. Our whole schedule is live today. So I will head to studio. We'll do AFR, and as soon as the show ends, we'll get back. Supposedly around 6, they're expecting rain and about 30-mile-an-hour winds in the Baton Rouge area around 6. If something changes and intensifies, we may pivot. But like Jake and T-Bob did their shows, or they're doing their show right now, but they're doing it remotely. Like T-Bob's wife's out of town. He's got three kiddos, obviously. So he went up to Toledo Bend. His grandmother could help with the kiddos while he did the show, and they didn't have to worry about the loss of power potentially. So we'll pivot if we need to. But anyway. David Tolson, good morning. Go Tigers. Do y'all think power is going out? Probably. I mean, you're talking about 90-mile-an-hour winds? Probably. Gregory Gordy. Need Drew's picks for the weekend. He'll go, Saints. Go Tigers. Somebody's in a good mood this morning, Team Drew. Mike, have to be able to run the ball this weekend. South Carolina D-line averages 270. One near 300. LSU defense plays the way they did the other USC easy 6.5 cover. Yeah, they've got some good interior defensive players though, man. Like Tonka Hemingway is a big dude. It's the other guy that came to media days this year. Huntley. Alex Huntley was there. I got to interview Alex Huntley. Talk about a big dude. God, he's a big dude. It was Huntley, Debo Williams. Who was the other player in the game? Oh, they brought Luke Doty. That was the other one they brought. So Luke Doty, that's one guy to keep an eye on. So Luke Doty, real quick. So Alex Huntley came to media days. We interviewed him on AFR. He is a big dude. He is listed 6'4", 303. He and Tonka Hemingway are the defensive tackles for South Carolina, the starters. And Huntley is a senior. He's a redshirt senior. He's a fifth-year guy. That was a good chat. I like talking to him. Luke Doty, you might remember, was a quarterback. Who now, like, they've used in a more versatile role. So anyway, a guy worth keeping an eye on. I forgot Luke Doty was there too. So, but I'm telling you, their defensive line is good. You could say only averages 270, but if you're talking about ends that are smaller, but like on the interior, they're big. Like that's by far South Carolina's best position group is their defensive line. Hey, Kelly, good morning. It's like the power goes out. Kevin, see right there is when you need the breaking news bite. Josh, when Jaden got hurt, they ran a clip of you saying his Heisman chances were done. Well, first of all, I'm glad I made the NIL documentary. Second of all, I'm a little miffed that they used content from our show, that Netflix would use content from our show without permission. I mean, you don't get to use copyrighted material without permission. That's interesting. I'm curious what the comment was, because I mean, it wasn't even after he got hurt. It was, I mean, they had lost, right? They lost to Bama, so their title chances were done. And typically, I mean, that was at that point their third loss, and very atypical to see a 3-loss Heisman winner. You need something like what happened against Florida. I don't think they did me dirty if I said it. I said it. But what I don't like is that they used content from my show without permission, because that is quite honestly, it's illegal. Anyway, radio question: ESPN New York moved from FM to an AM station. How is that beneficial? I don't know, Mike. I don't know all the ins and outs of that. Who owns the station, whatever the case may be. Might have been stronger signal. You know, I don't. I would have to know more about the particulars of that. Is it the same radio group? Did they switch affiliations? Like, was ESPN, like there might have been one media group that had the ESPN affiliation, gave it up, and so ESPN contracted with another affiliate? I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it. Brad and Michelle Wells, after the second LSU game, does your prediction for the rest of the year change or stay the same? No, so the Nichols game does absolutely nothing for me. Literally zero. For the same reason. Okay. No, I don't. Oh, babe, you got some stuff under your eyes, babe. So no, I have this. The Nichols game doesn't move me at all. I have just seen over the years so many of those meaningless games that nobody cares about, where teams that have no business being in a game stay in a game because they're sky high and the bigger team doesn't care. And that's not like that happened this weekend. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. Alabama was in a 14-13 game in the fourth quarter at home against South Florida. And South Florida had the ball inside the 10-yard line with a chance to score and tie. Like, I just don't care. You can say it shouldn't be that way, that you're a scholarship athlete and NIL and you should be up and you should be focused. It's not. It's just not reality. It's human nature. So I don't care at all. Not one sliver of an iota about what happened against Nichols. Don't care at all. LSU was a 52-point favorite in that game. I don't care at all. This weekend will be very telling, but road conference game, got to go win it. And I maintain also that I always say winning mass deficiencies. Had LSU beaten USC, like Nussmeier hits something as simple as Nussmeier hits the pass in the flat to Aaron Anderson, he scores and LSU wins the game. We're not talking about the lack of a running game. We're not talking about any of this. You're sky high because LSU won the game. They're undefeated. They're top 10 in the country. They beat USC. You're going, who cares? It's Nichols. Go on the road and beat South Carolina. When's Ole Miss coming? Like, the whole conversation changes. And when you lose, then you magnify deficiencies and tend to ignore the positives. That's why people are talking about the running game and not the fact that Nussmeier is completing 75% of his passes and leads the nation in touchdown passes. So no, nothing that happened last week changed my opinion at all. I know we don't talk politics. Something happened last night in E-Rocks in a pickle, right? I don't know what you mean. Go Tigers. Seems like Carolina has a good defense. Do you think it'll be an under type of game? No opinion on the I'm almost done. No opinion at all on the total. Josh Innes show, you're all over it, at least in the first two episodes I've seen. Might have a lawsuit on your hands. Time to get Gordon. ESPN, but stand up. You say ESPN, Netflix. I don't work for ESPN. Like, this is one of the things that, like, I don't mean this to be disrespectful at all, but fans have a giant misconception or misunderstanding. Like, I do not work for ESPN. I do not get a check from ESPN. I work for Guarantee Media in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Guarantee contracts with ESPN to be an affiliate. So we pay ESPN an affiliate rights fee to be branded as ESPN Radio and to carry the ESPN national programming and stuff like that. But I do not work for ESPN. So ESPN having a deal with Netflix that has literally zero to do with me. My show, After Further Review, is owned by Guarantee Media. If anybody wants to use my content from After Further Review or Off the Bench, they would need, like you see on football games, the expressed written consent of Guarantee Media. And what I'm telling you is Netflix or whoever, I think it was Shaq's production company who did the NIL documentary, did not get consent to use anything from our shows. The 2019 LSU documentary, if you remember, that SEC Network did, the production company that put that together was Bo Mattingly's production company. And Bo got our permission to use our content, and a lot of our stuff is in there. So, I mean, look, ultimately, I would grant permission, of course. I mean, it's great exposure, publicity, all this stuff. The problem that I have, though, is like, it's still illegal and it's unethical. Like, I mean, it's unethical. Like, you don't use somebody else's content without, like, I'll give you an example. So we launched LouisianaSports.net. Like, you know, all the photos that we use. Like, if you go to the website, LouisianaSports.net, you'll see photos accompanying articles. Those photos are Reuters photos. We have a subscription to Reuters to be able to use those photos, because if we use somebody else's photos that we did not have consent and permission to use photos, they could sue us. That has happened, by the way. Like, I don't need to go too deep into detail, but it happened years ago on one of our station websites where somebody unknowingly just grabbed a photo and put it on the website to accompany a post, like a blog post or something, and it was somebody's licensed photo, and they sued, and we had to settle. Like, that happens. So anyway, I'm not like super upset about it, but it is like off-putting. Like, you should get consent. Like, anyway. Brian, if Holly comes back, we move Juwan Johnson back. I would keep him at running back. Talked about that with Shay Dixon yesterday on our on Sports Takeover. By the way, WBRZ Channel 2, Sports Takeover, me, Shay Dixon, Michael Cobble, Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. And they I think stream it as well. But Rick, good morning. I forgot what we were talking. Oh, Juwan Johnson. I was talking about that with Shay. It feels like Shay uses like this is his. I can't credit. I'll give him credit. It kind of feels like they were doing with him with Sage Ryan. Like, you're a great athlete. We're going to move you all around, and you're going to kind of be like the number 2 or 3 guy at 5 different positions. Whereas you put him on offense, just get him involved. Like, he's not your best corner. He's not your best safety. He's not your best nickel. He's not your best star. But you have him cross-training at all these things. Like, how about you put him on offense and give him 3 to 5 touches a game where he can actually impact the game? I love that idea. Jeremy Sagely, what's going on? Stat Dub, Taylor Swift. What about Taylor Swift? Go Tigers. Actually compliment having your content put on other shows. That's how you made it. Like, that's fine. But when someone else is using your content and they are benefiting from using your content, that's a problem. I mean, I get it. I get it. And I would grant approval. Of course, I would want my stuff on the show. Of course I would. But it's unethical and it's illegal. Like, you are repurposing someone else's content without permission. That is not legal. Anyway, Mike, thanks for explaining the ESPN thing. Didn't know. You got it. Shaq does hate Matt. Shaq don't. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Kyle DeVille, morning, y'all. Please stay safe. Absolutely, Kyle. Thank you, man. There you go. Got that. Let's see. One more. Agree with you on Johnson. Guy had great offensive production in Louisiana high school football. Put the ball in his hands. Worked so far. I loved it. By the way, talked a lot about that on an episode last week of Locked on LSU. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to Locked on LSU, y'all. I know I've told you this before. It's my my plea or my ask, like Locked On, there's like, we don't get paid like any fee for Locked On. There's no like base. The only way we make money on Locked On is rev share. So it's all based on CPMs. So YouTube views, podcast downloads, like that's how we make money on Locked On. And I'm doing, it's been great so far. Like really, it's been fantastic. So I'm very appreciative, but if you could, subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel, all that stuff is super helpful if you could, and help us spread the word. All right, that's going to do it for us, y'all. Let me get out of here. Thank you. That's awesome. Look, I love Locked On LSU. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's easy. So, the whole concept of Locked On is I'm essentially taking like all my LSU content and like packaging it in short, like bite-sized 20 to 30 minute show. It's just all like 3-hour AFR, taking all the LSU content, condensing it into a 20, 30 minute show of just LSU. So anyway, Locked On LSU, your team every day. Okay, I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. Remember Parrish. Parrish is pinned. So please, 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 please go to parrishbuilt.com, fill out the form on the homepage. If you or someone you know might need a tarp, share that link. Tell them just to get in the queue. So we'll go right down the list in order of requests received. So, okay, y'all have an awesome day. Be safe with the storm. AFR 3, all of our shows are live as scheduled. AFR 3. We'll see you.